Hi everyone. It's been a long time. I can't believe it's already October. And I feel like as a teacher, it hasn't been that long since the school year started, but I feel like so much has transpired just in, the last month and a half ish. That, yeah, it's just been wow, a wild ride. But I just wanted to share a little couple things today to encourage you that have encouraged me in, like I say, what feels like, a wild ride start to the school year and just lots of stuff going on. And we all have stuff going on, right? And so the main thing is, though, that our stuff doesn't control us and our stuff doesn't weigh us down. We have to make that choice, and it's really hard to do because stuff is heavy and we're all dealing with different heavy situations and things and, all that. But I'm just so grateful to the Lord for his faithfulness, and he's just so good. And so, like I say, just personally, for myself, the school year started off kind of wacky because we just had a lot going on at school, new reading programs and things that were just requiring a lot of extra stuff and required a lot of stress, or gave me a lot of stress, and other just a lot. Okay, and then lots of changes and things like that. So that was kind of nuts. And then right before school officially started, like we had in service, and then that weekend before school was going to start or whatever, Darren and I both weren't feeling well. And we both tested positive for COVID. So we were kind of, down for a little bit. And then I couldn't go to school. And so that threw off, again, like at the beginning of school year, especially, you have a plan. And I'm a very planned person. And then, things didn't go as planned. But God is good through it all. And he's so faithful. And sometimes, we just have to learn to just to stay calm and just roll with things, and know that things sometimes that we think are so important aren't at that moment. And so again, I'm just thankful to the Lord that he's good and he's with us through it all. And late last fall, my husband and I planted a church in what used to be his father's funeral home. For 48 years, his father was a funeral director, and we turned what was the funeral home into a church, and just had both really been feeling like we were to do this. And my husband went to Bible college, so it's not like we pulled something out of a hat one day, but we've always felt like we would at some point step more into full-time ministry, and things just lined up and the Lord made it clear. But then again, in the midst of the school year starting, and then we got sick and everything, and then we had some entities who were trying to didn't want our church to be there, and things were coming against it, and had to take our sign down, and had to go through a huge rigmarole with that. And so things just were just a lot. And we all have our things that are going on, and just whether we're married, have children, our jobs, just all the things, family situations, just I don't have to name them. Like, we all have things that are weighing on us, or that are heavy, and we're trying to deal with, and we're trying to do the best we can and balance it all and all that. So a couple days before or I don't know, it was near the end of August anyway. I had a friend who had texted me some of Psalm 27, and she's also a teacher, and she had sent this to me just as an encouragement kind of to the beginning of school year. And again, like, God is just so good, and he sends you the right thing when you need it from his word. And it was an encouragement, and it has continued to be an encouragement. And I want to read that chapter to you. It's just 14 verses. And then just talk about it a little bit. So it says, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear or dread? The Lord is the refuge and stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, come upon me to eat my flesh, they stumbled and fell. And this is David writing this psalm. So though a host encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war rise against me, even then in this I will be confident. So again, my enemies are around me. All these things, are rising against me, and I can't see over them. And like, that's how we feel sometimes, right? That's how I was feeling, lately. But he says, even though war rise against me, even then in this, I will be confident. Well, what is he going to be confident in? What are we going to be confident in? Where are we going to trust? Are we going to trust in man, or are we going to trust in God and what his word says? One thing I have asked of the Lord, that I will seek, inquire for, and insistently require, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord, in his presence all the days of my life, to behold and gaze upon the beauty of the Lord, and to meditate, consider, and inquire in his temple. For in the day of trouble he will hide me in his shelter. In the secret place of his tent will he hide me. He will set me high upon a rock. And now my head shall be lifted above my enemies round about me. In his tent I will offer sacrifices and shouting of joy. I will sing. Yes, I will sing praises to the Lord. So in the day of trouble, when all this is going on, who's hiding us? Who's protecting us? And what are we going to do? Are we going to go hide under a rock and, hope for the best? No. What did David do? He said, I'm going to shout. I'm going to sing praises to the Lord. And, our position is so important when we're feeling, fatigued. That's what the enemy wants, is us to go hide under a rock, to isolate ourselves, from other people who can encourage us, from God's word. We think we need to check out, from all these things and like decompress. And there's nothing wrong with decompressing, but there is something wrong with isolation and fatigue and stepping away from him and others around us who can help us and who we can, hold us accountable and we can trust and talk to about these things that we're feeling. So he says, I will sing praises to the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry aloud. Have mercy and be gracious to me and answer me. You have said, seek my face, inquire for and require my presence as your vital need. My heart says to you, your face, your presence, Lord, I will seek, inquire for, and require of necessity and on the authority of your word. Hide not your face from me. Turn not your servant away in anger. So he's crying out to God. And sometimes we need to cry out to God, right? You who have been my help, cast me not off, neither forsake me, O God of my salvation. Although my father and my mother have forsaken me, yet the Lord will take me up and adopt me as his child. So again, they are just thinking, although it seems like, this person has turned against me, or this thing is, against me, he is always there. He is always faithful. Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me in a plain and even path because of my enemies. Give me not up to the will of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen up against me. They breathe out cruelty and violence. What would have become of me had I not believed that I would see the Lord's goodness in the land of the living? So what would have become of me if I would have given up, if I would have not pushed through these hard things and, declared that in the midst of this, that God is great and that he is faithful and he is my protection and my fortress and my shelter. Although this host of enemies, these situations are encamped, around me. Wait and hope and expect the Lord. So that's the last verse. Wait and hope and it for, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling. Wait and hope for and expect the Lord. Be brave and of good courage, and let your heart be stout and enduring. Yes, wait for and hope for and expect the Lord. So what do we need to do? We need to wait, and we need to hope for, and we need to expect, because that is faith. That's faith, is that you're expecting. You're not trusting, saying it with your mouth and not really believing it. Faith is saying it and believing it. Saying it with your mouth and believing it in your heart that he is who he says he is, and he will do what he says he will do. And we are not alone, and he cares for us. And we are all weighed down right now, and there are things that are so heavy, I know, on so many of you. And I have felt it, like I said, in so many areas, but we will not give up. And the other thing I want to share is just something that, I shared then with another friend, like a day or two after my friend shared this with me, that as I was praying and I talked to this friend about just, just this, we were sharing kind of stories of just the stressful situations in regards to school and just other things in our lives and stuff. And this is what the Lord kind of just gave to me. And again, in this, there's several different scriptures, and that's why I always tell you guys it's so important that we stay in the Word, because when we know what the Word says, then He can bring it back to our memory right when we need to hear it, right when we feel like we're hanging on by that last thread, and then we're reminded of His Word. It's like He breathes life into us, and we can be strengthened, and it's just so powerful. So this is what the Lord gave to me as I was, praying about these things. And then I shared this with my friend because I knew that she was feeling the same and it would encourage her. And so likewise to all of you, you can apply it to your situation. And I just pray that it encourages you. So I just wrote it down here because it was a lot. But so this is why He has chosen us for this work, because it is hard, because we care, because we do not give up when things get hard. So whatever is in front of you, whether it's your job and it's hard, whether it's motherhood and it's hard, whether it's family situations that are hard, whatever it is, this is why He has chosen us. Because it is hard, because we care, because we do not give up when things get hard, very hard. He has entrusted us with something of value, and He knows that we can see the value, and that is why we press on, and that is why we keep going. We do not retreat. We just dig our heels in a little deeper. We are equipped for this battle that is in front of us, and the insurmountable things that seem to be before us, because we walk by faith and not by sight. So we will not give up, right? His grace is sufficient for us. His power is made perfect in our weakness. And where our strength ends, His strength just keeps going and going and going and going, right? The joy of the Lord is our strength. We hope in the Lord, so we will renew our strength. We will soar on wings like eagles. We will run and not grow weary. We will walk and will not be faint. He loves us. He cares for us. We are not alone. We have His Spirit living in us, right? And we have each other, and iron sharpens iron. And this was just this little, whatever, the Lord just kind of, was just reminding me of all this at one time in my spirit. And, it was just like I said, it's like He breathes life into you and just reminds you, hey, it's going to be okay. And it reminds me of where my feet are planted and what is living inside of me, the Spirit of God. And I am not alone, all of those things. So you as well, what you're going through, how you're feeling right now, all of it. You are not alone, and I just pray that those words just sink in to you. So go read, those verses kind of in that. Go read Isaiah 41. Go read 2 Corinthians 12:9. His grace is sufficient. You know, trying to think what all, yeah. Other things, that was the other verses, but we walk by faith and not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. All of those verses, they're powerful, you know, and they're truth, and they have the power to set you free and to give you peace when you don't feel peace. And that's been too something that you know, I've just really had to choose to have peace when I haven't felt it, when I haven't felt calm. I've had to choose to say, no, I have his peace, and whatever's trying to rip me out of my seat of peace, I need to send it on its way and let it go. I need to give it over to him. I need to bring it to him, you know, and not try to deal with whatever it is all myself, and just to give it to him. Because again, he's so good to us. And I know this was really long, but I pray that that it encourages you, like I said, and that you get something from it. And just whatever you're feeling, that's the main thing. Is I just want to remind you just to take it to him and know that you're not alone, and encourage you to stay connected. And whether it's, you know, with people in this group, or other friends you have, or whatever, stay connected, and don't be ashamed or afraid to share what you're feeling with someone who can pray with you. And also, you know, of course, for you to pray and take it to him yourself, and to not be afraid to cry out to him, while at the same time keeping your feet planted, and declare that that he is good, and that you're gonna, like in verse 14 of Psalm 27, you're gonna wait. We're all gonna wait and hope for and expect the Lord. We're gonna be brave and of good courage, and we're gonna let our hearts be stout and enduring. We are gonna wait, yes, and hope for and expect the Lord, because he is faithful, and he's always comes through. And Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So it's not going to change, right? So, all right.